two can grow harmoniously together. In the power of his resurrection. Now, recently I think I mentioned that this is why some people consider my show heretical, or one of the reasons, which is fine. I don't think it's necessary to really consider Jesus' body as being physically raised. I mean, it's okay to, and I don't doubt that it occurred. I'm just saying, to me, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that I am experiencing power in my life through believing that God is available to me through the generous gift that he offered in Jesus. And by Jesus having fulfilled his mission, is now available to all through the Spirit. To me, that's sufficient. So just because I personally don't feel I need to believe in the bodily resurrection of Jesus, I certainly wouldn't be praying or thinking or ultimately growing if I didn't believe in the power of his ascendant Spirit. To know him, the power of his resurrection, and the fellowship of his sufferings. Oh my gosh. I mean, for years I prayed, that I would be united with Christ, that I might know his sufferings, sort of in probably kind of a naive longing to be, to sort of, to myself and to him, that I love him so much that, I'm willing to suffer anything with him because I love him so much.
Oh yeah, baby.
But I'm starting to feel like Peter, shortly before he was crucified, and saying, I'm not sure I really want to get into all that suffering, but I'm really finding that that's where, it's really where the rubber meets the road. And suffering in the sense of, you can really experience the loss of all things. And there's obviously suffering in that. People reject you, they don't love you, they criticize you. And you have a heart full of love, and you want nothing but healing and connection with those in your life, those who are in your life. But so often you experience this rejection of Christ, this criticism of your Christian ways, this lack of understanding of what you're going through, and sort of an alienation from people who used to communicate so well with you, and now they don't, and they kind of want a more standoffish relationship with you. I mean, those are really hurtful experiences, but I guess what I'm saying is, in this sense, I can, it gives me some joy to know that these are sufferings that are Christ's sufferings. That he was certainly rejected. He was certainly rejected by the people that he came to set free and heal and love. And that must be for one who is so enlightened and so full of the compassion of God, must have extreme pain. And even 32 years later, since I became a Christian, I've had several experiences along the way where I've understood that, and it's been easier to accept that. But now I'm getting it like in spades, and it's tough. But this is what I was saying earlier, that because of that, it sort of led me to realign myself to stay more true to God, and not to lose heart, and just see that this is part of divine experience. And I think that's what Paul's talking about here in the fellowship of Jesus' suffering. He says, even being conformed to his death. You know, there's such a oneness with that, you know, the full expression of God through him included his rejection that ultimately ended up in him being killed. And for some, you know, early martyrs, it's exactly what they experienced. For all I know, that might happen to me, I don't know. But the acceptance that that is the path is a freeing one. Now, I'm sure this is what's caused, you know, most people, or a lot of people, to look at Jesus as a stumbling block. Well, I believe in loving your neighbor and all that, but what's all this about suffering and being conformed to his death? I mean, it's kind of gloomy, and what's up with you people? I guess what I'm saying there is that if you really look at the lower egoic self, your lowest nature that just wants to serve yourself, you serve yourself by serving your desires, and your desires include not wanting to die. So if you really come to grips with the reality that you can no longer feed that lower self and ascend to this higher enlightenment, then you have to accept the death of your own former life, and that may include your current life. But it's to that level, you know, it's that difficult of a calling. And that's rough. I'm with you. That's rough. And now Paul says, goes on with like a little humble statement here. He says, not that I've already obtained it or have already become perfect, but I press on in order that I might lay hold of that for which also I was laid hold of by Christ Jesus. That's a nice little verse there, isn't it? I'm going to open up the window because it looks like it's getting dark here. 1 second. Is it too bright now?